This is the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 4, and I've been using this phone as my daily driver for the past 7 days, and I'm going to give you guys my honest opinion on how I feel about this phone. First, I'm going to start off with something that I really like about this phone, and that is the design of the phone. It looks very nice for being a foldable phone. I mean, this thing folds in half. It has two pieces that are basically folded into one when it's closed. And I think Samsung did a fantastic job at making this look nice, even though it's a more bulky phone. All the way from the hinge to the two different folds itself, to the back of the camera, to the front of the phone. Everything just looks fantastic. Now for something that I don't like about this phone, and that is the front display on this phone. For convenience purposes, I would love to be able to pull this phone out of my pocket, turn on the front screen, unlock it, and send a quick text message. But I found this to be really hard with this phone because of the dimensions of this phone. As you can see on the front screen, it is extremely tall, but not very wide. So the keyboard is really compact and small, making it really hard to accurately click each individual letter when trying to type with your thumbs or just your hands in general. The size of this front screen has been very irritating for me, and I do believe with a lot of use over time, you can learn to become used to this small display on the front, and you can send text messages fast as well as other things. I just think it takes time, and I think Samsung could, however, make this thing just slightly bigger, just enough to make it so the keyboard is a little bit more convenient on the front of the phone. And if they made the screen a little bit bigger on the front, all it would do is make the inside screens even longer, which would actually be a good thing in my opinion. It would make the unfolding of the phone and using the bigger part of the screen more beneficial, even though the screen is already massive on the inside. Now for something I absolutely love about this phone, and that is that it folds. On the inside of this phone, it has a ginormous display, and it is actually quite beautiful. And a lot of people say that the notch is ugly and that it's a selling point for them. And for me, I think that it isn't even that big of an issue. When you're looking at the phone from the front of the phone, you don't really see the notch, and it kind of just fades away into the background. So for me, that's not a big issue. This is where using this phone becomes extremely convenient, because you have this massive display at your disposal, and when you're done with it, all you have to do is fold it shut, and it's a fairly small phone, which is something that I absolutely love, and the display is very cool. One of the most beneficial parts of having such a big display on the inside of your phone is you can watch content on it, and it looks absolutely amazing. The color is perfect, and the screen is just big. So it makes it really convenient to watch shows on. You don't feel like you're straining your eyes to see the content. It just looks great. Another fantastic thing about having such a big display is its ability to multitask. You can have multiple pages open all at the same time, and they all work fluidly together, and it makes it really convenient to use this phone. And this is one benefit to Samsung is multitasking, and that's one thing that I've learned to love a lot about this phone is being able to run multiple applications all at the same time without any problems, which is great. Another thing that I think is really cool is this camera right here. It's actually an under-display camera, so when you're in selfie mode, you can see the camera clearly, but when I flip the camera, it disappears. And you can kind of still see it, but it kind of just fades into the background, which is something that's super cool. Unfortunately, this is a 4 megapixel camera, so the quality of it is terrible, to say the least. However, the cameras on the back of this phone actually aren't that bad. I've taken a couple photos with them. They're not fantastic, but they're not bad. I'll actually show you a picture that I took with the cameras on this phone. I went to an aquarium a couple weeks ago, and I took this picture of some jellyfish. And as you can see, they look fantastic. This is great color, the picture's really clear, and no complaints at all about the camera. Except for when it comes to social media. And this isn't necessarily Samsung's fault, but a lot of social media apps are not optimized for Samsung phones, so the cameras inside the app look absolutely terrible. As you can see, the color is pretty gray, and that is something that I don't like, and I hope one day will be fixed, but for now, it's an issue that anyone that has a Samsung has to deal with, and it's very unfortunate, but it happens. Something that I absolutely love about this phone is the phone case Samsung has made for it. This phone case right here is the standing case, and it has a lot of really cool features. I'll show you how it works. So once you clip everything on, the front and back, which by the way, I love that it color matches the phone. I think that's a really important feature, and it makes it look great. But anyway, once you have everything hooked up onto the phone, there's this little slot right here, and you can slide these little pieces into it. This one's a kickstand, so you can watch content on it, which is super convenient. And something that's really cool about this phone is it is compatible with S Pen. As you can see, Samsung has made an S Pen for this phone, and it's called the Fold Edition S Pen, and it has a little case for it that connects to your phone. And when you want to use it, all you have to do is pull it out, open up the phone, unlock it, and you're ready to go. And it has hover mode, which is really cool. So as you can see, the closer you get to the screen, you can kind of see this little nib, and it floats around to let you know where your pen is going to come in contact with the screen. It's really convenient for taking notes, and it looks really cool. The S Pen also has this little side button right here, and if you click it near the screen, it pulls up a bunch of options you can use. So you can make notes, you can smart select, you can screen write, you can write a live message, you can do an AR doodle, all types of stuff like that. And all that just fits on the back of your phone in a convenient carrying case, which I love. And that's probably one of my more favorite features of the Samsung Z Fold. Something that I do not like about this phone is the battery life. And I think the reason why the battery life is so bad is because it has a really small battery and a massive display, which just doesn't work very well. And I think that's a feature Samsung could fix. They would have to make the phone a little bit thicker, which is probably why they have not done that. But compared to my iPhone, this thing dies fast. To put that in perspective, I can go an entire day using my phone regularly, and by the end of the night, it's still above 50%. But when I use this phone for the entire day, as I regularly would, I go to bed most nights with it around 20%. So it still lasts the entire day, but it still dies seemingly faster than my iPhone. And that's a minor problem to me, but it's still kind of inconvenient, especially if you don't have a charger to charge your phone every single night and you want it to just last a little bit longer. And I haven't done any crazy editing, or I haven't watched any long videos or anything on this phone, so I don't know how long you can watch a movie on it before it dies. But either way, I wish it had a little bit longer battery life. I think that would make this phone a lot better of a productivity tool. And yeah, other than that, I think it is a fantastic phone. It's a really cool idea from Samsung, and with the Z Fold, it's actually an extremely useful phone versus the Z Flip, which I think is kind of gimmicky just because it's a regular phone. It just folds in half. This one is a tablet slash phone, making it seem a little bit more useful, and it just makes a lot more sense to me. Overall, I have very few complaints about this phone. It's a really cool idea. The execution is fantastic. Samsung did a great job with basically everything about this phone. But one thing that happened a couple times while I was using this phone that I was not expecting was freezing and crashing. There was once or twice where an app would just crash, and then there's a couple times where things were just really laggy. And that's something that I honestly didn't expect from a phone that costs this much. This is actually the most expensive phone you can buy from Samsung, and it's pretty powerful. It has a 12 gigabyte RAM, and I thought that I'd run into very few snags with it. So it was surprising when it did freeze, and it was never really that big of an issue because it would fix itself pretty quickly. But I just thought that was something I should tell you guys, is that this phone is not a perfect phone, just like every other phone. There's always something that might go wrong with the phone, and for this one, it was freezing. So other than that, I don't have any major complaints. I think it is super cool, and I hope more companies start to integrate this type of technology into their phones. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you have any more questions that I did not answer, put them down in the comments. I'll respond to them as quickly as I can and as best as I can. And I appreciate all your support. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. It helps me a lot. I'm trying to grow a community, and it helps with all your guys' support to do that. And I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you.